Every marketer I meet gets treated exactly like this video I'm showing you, right? I find that us marketers have the most pressure, we get the most blame, and often, depending if you're in a company or not, you'll get zero support. If you are a marketer, meaning you may run ads for companies, you may run organic for companies, recruitment, you run cold outreach, you run UGC affiliate, and you can deliver it anyway. It can be an agency, a full-time growth lead, a growth partner, freelance, whatever, right? You run your own business. This video is for you, my friend. Why is it marketers always get the short end of the stick? Now, I was thinking about this and I've realized it's us, like we are the problem. And I'll tell you why, okay? So the problem is we are actually terrible opportunity pickers. It's not necessarily our fault, but it is our problem. And it's kind of how we're built, right? And I'll explain why, like what I mean by this. So as a marketer, you're actually a blend of a few type of people or archetypes, whatever you want to call it, right? I say that, you know, you've got your sales side, you love to sell, because ultimately marketing is just selling at scale, and you love the growth challenges. Like salespeople love a challenge, right? And that's where we love that challenge as well. But then we've got that product side to us where we look at the data and we're looking at, right, what's the minimum we need to do to get the maximum return? And then we've got the ops side where we need to hire SOP, build out like advanced frameworks and all this stuff, all the systems we need to do. So as a good marketer, we should be able to analyze data, you know, build systems, build things that can sell at scale, think of frameworks and understand like retention. My thing is acquisition, retention, referrals. Those are three things that we should be good at. It's kind of like this triangle. As a marketer, we're dead in the center. We've got to be good at product, sales, and ops. If you're good at all of these three things, you're essentially a marketer. Now, sometimes what we do is we over-index, right? So we go a bit too far down to either one or two of these things, right? And I'll walk you through what ends up happening. So if you're a bit too salesy and a bit too opsy, right? So you're great at selling and you know how to build a system and build a team and the SOPs and everything, right? I call them scammers, right? We're scammer marketers and we've all done it, unintentionally or intentionally, right? When we know we can just release an offer, we know it's going to work, but we know the back end is not sorted, right? This is what we call scammer marketers, right? Now, sometimes we over-index on the right-hand side. So we're a bit more producty, a bit more ops. And we're looking at the things day to day. We're thinking, how do we get the most out of our book? We're looking at the data, right? Those are what we call data marketers. They're thinking about, they're building the SQL queries, they're building the back end. They're just thinking, how can I get the most for what I'm doing? And the problem here is we're missing all the context, right? The salespeople bring in the context. They have the understanding. You're with the people, right? Without context, the data doesn't make sense. Now, what if we are like, you know, really great at sales and we have a fantastic product? I call this an always stress marketer, right? Because we've finally got a great product or we're selling loads of them, but we don't have the infrastructure. We don't have anyone to support us. We have to balance, right? We have to make sure we're always in the center of these three things, okay? And how does this relate to picking good opportunities? Now, I'm going to explain to you, right? What we're doing as marketers, we're over indexing into the sales side, right? So we're selling ourselves into really great ideas that we hear, okay? And you might hear yourself say one of these three phrases. And I definitely have said, if we do enough volume, it'll work, right? Oh, it won't be that much effort. I've said those. And if you said this, you're going down a bad path, my friend, right? Marketers are the master of self-selling, meaning that we can sell ourselves into any product that we think looks good. If we see potential, we're on it. Now, here is the lesson I want to teach you. Just because it can work doesn't mean we should make it work, okay? If we want to make a bunch of money, I've built this framework that we're going to follow now to pick great opportunities. And you're going to use this whenever an opportunity presents itself. And I wish I had this when I started. We look for three things. I'm going to run through each one of them. And keep in mind, all three must be checked. Number one, we want to look for a big starving market or a great market, okay? Good market. Now, that simplified, is there loads of people to sell to? And will they spend a lot? That is basically what I'm looking for, okay? Now, here are a few more technical questions you can ask yourself, right? But the two main things are those two I've said, okay? Now, a strong market where there's high spending power, it's easy to find, the problem is really straightforward, you know, there's loads of them, they're easy to sell to, they're willing to pay a lot, right? That's a strong market. A weak market is very hard to find, they don't want to spend a lot, the problem or the pain isn't even that clear exactly what you're solving. That's what I'd call a weak market, okay? Now, imagine this, your best case scenario in a bad market is that you might make some money, okay? You might make a little bit of money, okay? The worst case scenario is you're going to make no money and waste time. So a bad market is not worth it. A good market's worst case scenario is you will make some money. You will always make some money in a great market, okay? And I always judge a market by the least competent person. If the least competent person is making money, you will make money, okay? Now, let's say there is a good market, all right? There's a lot of them, they're easy to reach and they'll spend a lot. The next thing we're going to look at is there genuinely a good product, right? Is the product valuable to the ideal client you're trying to sell to, right? Does it do what it actually says? Has it got, you know, repeat purchase, recurring revenue, and ultimately are customers happy and are they willing to refer naturally, right? You should have no doubts. If you're a bit 50-50, you know, it needs a bit of work. If I do this, don't do it. Do not do it. I'm telling you, it's a waste of time, okay? You're going to have this problem. You're going to have 0 returning customers and you're going to think, oh, I need to get customers every single week or every single month. And you know what's going to happen? Because your customers are not happy, you're going to have a bunch of negative referrals, and negative referrals rise CAC. And when there's high CAC and no LTV, your business is barely surviving, okay? And when CAC is increasing, your margin or your profit or your client's profit is going to go down. It's going to get squeezed. And what happens when that happens? You are getting destroyed. This is going to be you. You're going to get all the blame, right? You're going to get stressed, you're going to get blamed, and it's going to be a waste of time because they will always blame you and never blame themselves for having a bad product or bad situation. So do not do it. Now you might say to me, Adam, I found a great market. You know, it's financial services and the product is just, you know, it's revolutionary, right? Okay, you might be feeling like this, you might be feeling a bit jiggy, right? Now, you gotta wait, you gotta hold on 1 second, okay? The final thing that we're gonna look at, is there a great founder and a great team, okay, already with them? If the founder is emotionally, you know, unreliable, right? They've got no strategy, they can't see ahead, they're not in the day-to-day, you will get overworked. They'll promise and under-deliver and you're gonna feel stuck, right? Problem is that when you've got a great product and a great market and you're like, oh, this can work, but the founder just doesn't know what they're doing, you'll be stuck and you won't know what to do and you'll waste a lot of your time, okay? A good founder has very clear direction on where we're going. They're in the weeds, they can support the team, they know what needs to be done, right? They create clear belief in what they're doing. There's no confusion, right? And I like to say it like this: a bad founder will make you want to kill yourself and a good founder will make you feel, ooh, like fantastic. If you have found a great or big starving market, the product is genuinely good, it gets natural referrals, people want to buy it again, they love it, and you've got a great founder and a great team, you will be a multi-millionaire, right? 100%. Anybody I've talked with, the lowest they ever were, if they had these 3 things, they were 6 figures. It's guaranteed. At that point, you've just got to keep going. If you've got these 3 things, just keep going. Eventually, it's going to work out. The best marketers know which opportunity is worth their time. As a marketer, we have like a superpower, right? We can get people in, get them to buy it. And it's one of the hardest but highest valuable skills, right? For us, we just need to make sure that what we're doing is worth it. We don't want to be in a cycle of chasing all the time. And this took me 4 years to learn, right? I've been in multiple types of companies. My first few clients were vintage wholesale, aesthetics, and I've now been in VC, I've been in e-com, I've been in drop shipping. I've seen all of these models, right? The one that made me the most money and taught me the most and gave me the most like clarity was the one when these 3 things were ticked, right? Now also keep in mind it's in that order, because if you find a great founder and they got a terrible product with a terrible market, you're still gonna get bought in. So don't even try and entertain it. First, before anyone tries to sell you, start with that order. Is the market really good? Cool. Is the product really good? Cool. Okay, now let me see if I like you. Don't do it the other way around. You'll self-sell your way in. Hopefully you got some advice for this video. I wish I knew this 4 years ago, so that's why I'm making it. Make sure to subscribe for more marketing and growth education and content, as I'm posting 3 to 4 times per week.